Greetings of the day. A warm welcome to the principal ma'am, sir, teachers and my dear students. Today we have gathered here to witness the proceedings of Parliament.
Today we are going to have a mock Parliament sections that will enlighten you about the procedure and the proceedings of Parliament. The Constitution of India came into effect on 26 Jan 1950. It provides for bicameral parliament consisting of President and two houses, that is Lok Sabha or the lower house and Rajya Sabha or the upper house.
So I would like you to all participate in this event. So let me ask you all the basic question about the Parliament. The very first question is, so what is the maximum number of seats in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? The answer would be, there are 552 seats in Lok Sabha and 250 seats in Rajya Sabha.
Okay, so we shall proceed now. And let us come to the topic in hand, working of Parliament. In Parliament, every bill has to be passed by both the houses and signed by the President before it becomes the law.
As we all know that the Parliament is temple of democracy. Each house has its specific features. Lok Sabha holds supremacy in terms of financial matter, whereas Rajya Sabha plays an important role in enabling the Parliament to legislate on state-related issues. The Constitution mandates that Parliament should meet twice in a year.
Every institution has some important officials to ensure the working of institution. In Parliament, we have Speaker in Lok Sabha and Chairman in Rajya Sabha to ensure its smooth functioning.
Today, we are going to witness the sessions of Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha begins with the question hour. So let us start.
The question hour starts. Question number 701. Miss Pooja, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Agriculture be pleased to state that whether excessive use of chemical fertilizers is causing disease of cancer at a large scale? If so, the details thereof and response of the government thereto. Whether the government has any proposal to develop biofertilizers by involving private sector in view of harmful effect of chemical fertilizers. Whether the government has achieved the desired target in this regard, and if not, the steps taken by the government to achieve the targets with success achieved so far. What are the various steps taken by government to produce biofertilizers?
Minister of Agriculture, please proceed.
With the permission of Honorable Speaker, I would like to state that there is no scientific evidence that the balanced and judicious use of chemical or fertilizer cause disease. There is possibility of contamination of nitrate in groundwater above the permissive level when there is excessive use of fertilizer, particularly in light textured soil, that can have consequences on both human and animals. The government has taken the following steps to promote the production of organic and biofertilizers: financial assistance to individual and private agencies through NABARD, as well as capital assistance. Also, under Soil Health Organization, the financial assistance is given for promotion of organic produce. Under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, financial assistance is given to liquid biofertilizer companies. The National Center of Organic Farming undertake various activities like exhibition, radio talk, TV programs, distribution of literature to promote organic fertilizers. Indian Institute of Agriculture Research impart training to improve the quality of crops and soil using biofertilizer.
Question number 702. Master Kunal Alitwal.
Honorable Speaker, will the Honorable Minister of Industry and Commerce be pleased so that will the coming of GST will create additional jobs?
Of course, it will increase. It is estimated that in accountancy sections, around 60,000 additional jobs would be created. This is likely to spur growth from 7% to 9%. which will automatically lead to the job sections. Transportation costs will some go down. This will bring down inflation, price of goods will go down. So my dear friends, this was a glimpse of question hour. Now we will witness how does a bill becomes an act or a law.
Introduction of bill on anglicizing the school campus. Minister of HRD, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker and all the members of Parliament, I, the HRD Minister, is going to present a bill. The bill is anglicizing the school campus, according to which English speaking in the school campus will be made compulsory. There are many advantages of passing this bill. This will increase the fluency of speaking among the students, as there are many students who are not very fluent, so they will be confident about the speaking English. Even in future, if students are going abroad, they will not face difficulty. All the examinations are conducted in English world over. In this bill, I purpose that the student who is caught speaking language other than English will be charged 200 rupees on next breach. Parents would be called. Marks will be deducted. I hope the opinion parts will support us. Will pan the bill with full majority.
Leader of opposition, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, as the leader of opposition party, I would like to inform you that we are opposed of this bill. We had already tried to implement when we were the ruling party, but there was no change in the behavior of the students. They were using other languages. The weaker students who can't speak English were mentally tortured and they were stressed. It is a foreign language and we should not give priority to it. We should give priority to our mother tongue. And also because of these children, they are forgetting their mother tongue. And so many students do not know the meaning of the words in their mother tongue. So I think the bill should not be passed. Thank you.
Now I call Minister of HRD to proceed.
It is totally wrong. People think that English is very high level language, and if our students speak this language, they will be given preferences world over. They will be able to get the better job opportunity. We are not saying that to forget the mother tongue. We are saying it is the second language and students should be able to speak with fluency.
Now I call Ms. Kritika to raise her point.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I want to state that students have to strictly speak English in the school. Then the weak students who are not able to speak it perfectly will lose their confidence and they will be teased by the peers. Secondly, if a student is not able to speak in English in front of teacher, he will be not able to have the good impression in front of teacher. So I do not support this bill.
I call Master Daksh from ruling party to raise his point.
Honorable Speaker, we agree that in the beginning, students would not be able to be fluent in English. But Honorable Speaker, if we want to speak fluently, we must try.
Now I call Member of Opposition Party, Ms. Harshika, to raise her point.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to say that if students will start speaking English language, they will use to the language and they will use English in their home. And as all of us know, most of our grandparents are illiterate. They don't know English. So there will be a generation gap from where it would be create a lack of understanding and communication. So it shouldn't happen. Thank you.
Now I call Ms. Vanshika to raise her point.
Honorable Speaker, students are enough intelligent to convert English into Hindi. and indirectly grandparents will also learn English indirectly.
In this way, the debate will continue, and at the end of the debate, the speaker would ask for the votes.
Let's commence the votes.
I.
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 I declare bill passed.
So, in this way, our parliament, the bill is passed. It will undergo in the same procedure in Rajya Sabha, and then the president would sign it and it becomes the law.
I hope you all understand how in Temple of Democracy the issues are discussed by the representative of people.